Hey, it's Josephine from the Pointe shop. I'm in Eugene Ballet today. It's my last day on my Portland tour, and I am fitting Sophia today here. And I wanted to point out a couple things that's very common in terms of pointe shoe fitting. Sophia has really pretty feet, but a lot of times her foot shrinks into like a smaller size when she goes up on pointe. So pointe shoes tend to look really baggy on her. That doesn't mean that the size is incorrect. It usually just means that your foot shrinks more than other people. And if you have a shoe that has a lot of fabric on it, then it usually looks a little bit more baggy. So I'm gonna just change a little bit of the fabric length today, but keep her in a shoe that can really support the size of her feet too. So the shoe that she's in right now is actually her correct size. So the length and the width is actually fine, but when she goes up on pointe, you can see that it's really baggy here. Can you roll down really slowly for me? So you can see that there's all this gaping here, and that's mostly because, roll down. And all of that fabric, it's because the shoe is cut a little bit higher on the foot. It has a lot of fabric, and it works with certain people with feet that are a little bit more filled out. But for Sophia, she has a pretty tiny heel and it tapers a lot to her heel. So it looks like the shoe is huge. So when she's even standing on flat, you can see all of this gaping right here. So the shoe just looks too big. Stand in first position and releve. So she has what's called a shrinking foot. Or a disappearing heel, if you heard that before. So there's just a lot of fabric here. And what I'm gonna do today is to kind of fix that. I'm gonna give her a shoe that is cut a little bit lower and tapered a little bit more towards the heel so it doesn't look like this. I want to make sure that it's nice and streamlined. It's mostly for aesthetic reasons. It's not really dangerous to have something that's this baggy because the size does in fact still fit her. What I just want to do is make sure that it looks prettier, because if you're performing or if you're competing, then you don't want your shoes to look big, because most people that look at her shoes will say that it is too big for her when in fact the size actually fits. So I'm gonna just get her a shoe that's a little bit more tapered in the heel, and then it's a little bit less fabric. Okay, go ahead and put that on for me. So the sizing again is pretty similar to what she's already in right now, but I am going to just cut down the fabric a little bit and make sure that everything looks really nice for her Nutcracker season. Already it looks pretty streamlined. There's nothing gaping anymore. Standing in first position. Okay, and then it's nice and straight here, so there's nothing gaping. Bring your left foot up on pointe and then press up on both feet. And it looks a lot better on the heel. Again, she already has, she has disappearing heels, so it's still a little bit baggy, but it's much better than what she was in before. Can you come down for me? And then can you go into parallel? And then roll up for me? Okay, very good. So we're gonna have, and then roll down slowly. So you can see the difference between the shoe that she was in before and the shoe that she's in now. There's a lot less gaping. So come all the way down. Sophia has been on pointe for a little while, so I'm looking more at aesthetics than just functional. But you definitely want a shoe that looks like the extension of your legs rather than just a shoe at the end of your foot. Stand in first position. If you see, when you're in your pointe shoes, and if you have something that's really gapy, or if it looks like it's obviously too big for you, even if it feels good, try changing the model or the fabric, and it might be a lot better for you. There's another way to fix this problem as well. You can do what's called a Frankenstein, and you can sew down the fabric a little bit, and I will probably do that in a different video, but a lot of professionals do this to make their feet look a little bit more streamlined. You can just sew it down and then make sure that it's a little bit prettier. Okay, so if you have any questions, if you don't love the way that your shoe looks, then you can leave that on the comments and then I'll answer that question. I'll probably be back in the Pacific Northwest around January or February, so if you're in the area, send me a message and I will hopefully see you next time.